Please do not post your referral code in the comment section below. Otherwise, your account will be banned for no reason. Hey guys, JVO785, and I'm coming to you today with some very important Holy Wars information. Even if you're not an attack leader, a defense leader, vice president, or order leader, make sure that you watch this video and make sure that you inform your order leaders of this information that I'm going to be presenting you. Unfortunately, guys, Wiki Rage of Bahamut's site is down right now, so I'm not going to be able to bring you as good quality video as I'd like to, but I think it's really important that I get this information out to you as soon as possible. And just to prove it, if I hit main page or card list or anything like this, the website is offline and it's currently unavailable, which really sucks. So, let's go ahead and talk about banned accounts. Apparently, there's been a banning of sweeping of accounts throughout Rage of Bahamut. Now, I got this information from GameFAQs, which is usually pretty good, and sometimes it's just hearsay, so take this with a grain of salt, and also what I'm going to be talking to you should take with a grain of salt too, just in case, but I think it's still very good if you and your order prepare. So the first thing, banning accounts, there's a bunch of ideas of why there's been a mass ban accounts, selling, trading, suspicious trading, which I think is a really good one to be preparative of, you name it, and multiple accounts using BlueStacks, so on and so forth. There's been a mass ban of accounts, some of them just being feeder accounts, some of them being storage accounts, some of them being farming accounts, and I'm sure that there's been a couple of accounts too that have been banned for the wrong reasons, like helping out your buddy by giving them some cards that you no longer use, which adds up to a good amount of HP for just a couple rubies. If you'd like to know more about that, just get on GameFAQs and check that out. It's apparently there's a banning wave sweeping through Rob, question mark. But the main one that I really wanted to talk to you guys about is the defense leader changes during Holy War. Now, from how I interpret it and how other people interpreted it, and you can find this information on Rage of Bahamut Wiki as soon as it is up. Now, they usually take their translations from Japan, and the US being one change of a word or replace it in one word, it can make a really big difference in that translation. So take this with a grain of salt, but still inform your order leaders that way just in case. Now, from what I've read and how I interpreted it, it basically goes like this. Normally you have to defeat that defense leader to be able to then attack other order members of the Holy War battle, whoever you're facing. But from how I've read it, that's no longer the case. Now, you're going to be able to attack anybody unless that defense leader uses their special ability. Now, this is something that's called like Pathlon, or I don't quite remember the name of it, but it's basically using a bunch of spears to form a wall. And what that skill does is it lasts for about 6 minutes, it costs so many points, and it makes it so that only you can attack that defense leader. Now, that effect goes away instantly as soon as you defeat that defense leader, but the thing is that they can use that effect multiple times. So, in a sense, it's good because if you're the defense leader, or, if your defense leader on your order gets defeated, and then you got a mass rush, you can use that effect, and if that one person that was able to defeat you isn't active anymore, or doesn't have any more holy powder, it changes the core foundation of the game. And the other sense, it's bad, because if your defense leader isn't active, or isn't on, then, it's just a free-for-all. You can attack whoever you want, anytime you want. So that being said, my advice is this. It's going to be more important to have multiple defense leaders. Now, we ran into orders, formerly known as South Skull's Gods, now known as Life After Death. Same order, different name. We ran into orders where it was one active defense leader and one active attack leader, and all the rest of them were macros. Basically got the minimum 5,000, 10,000, or 30,000 points, if even that happened. And all those farm accounts pooled all the resources and gave all that HP to just the defense leader. So we ran into defense leaders, which basically busted our wall, and won that way because we couldn't get through them. And this is where they're running what would be the equivalent of 5 King Arthurs, basically for a God or Demon deck, okay? So Quillins and so on and so forth ran into orders that were running 3 of those, if not something better. So, there are people out there that have spent $10,000 plus on this game, but for the most part not. And there are a lot of ways that cheat in this game, unfortunately. So, it's good that Rage of Bahamut is constantly changing the way the game operates in some of the rules that are being abused, but in the same sense, they're really distracting away from their main customer base and their loyal players. You know, it's not the guy that drops 10 grand one time that you really have to approve of or you want to appeal to. It's the guy that spends $20 a week, you know, or $20 a month whenever it's his or her birthday or whenever they get their paycheck or something like that, that they should really focus on and try to support. And I like how Rage of Bahamut is changing some of the rules and changing the way events occur, but in the same sense, I think that they are straying away from a lot of their basic customers, their foundation, and they're alienating them. And I still think that it's a game that's simply focused on making as much money as quickly as possible, and that they really don't care about their customers as much as they should. Sorry guys, got on a little bit of soapbox, so let's get back to this. There's the Order Leader has a special effect. It's basically a boost of 20% to all of the other Order members, okay? Attack Leaders have an effect, which I think is around 30%. There's 5 different tiers. The higher the tier, the higher percentage it is. I don't know if the Attack Leaders effect and the Order Leaders effect stack for a 50% bonus, or which whatever is higher goes. From what I've read, that effect only happens once, so you attack once, that 30% afterwards is gone. You attack and you win, it's still gone. You attack and you lose, it's still gone. The Defense Leaders effect lasts for a minimum of 6 minutes unless they got defeated, and then you have to use it again. I don't know if there's a cooldown time, quote unquote, that you have to wait like 1 minute before you can reactivate it, or whatever. But, again, this basically changes this game because you're going to start needing multiple defense leaders, okay? And so I say this, okay? Have your one main defense leader, which is just a boss, okay? Nobody can play for 24 hours a day, so eventually they're going to run out of HP, or, you know, they're going to have to sleep or go to work or so on and so forth. If you've got a good enough frickin' order, have a minimum of 3, 1 for each 8-hour shift, okay? Even if you have kind of a crappy defense leader for your second or third, it'd still be a good idea. Just have them take over while the main defense leader is using that special effect, just to have everybody focus on him, and the other two taking over in case he or she runs out of HP, or while that person's sleeping or at work, or so on and so forth. So guys, I hope you understand where I'm coming from. I hope you understand the complexity of why this changes Holy Wars in this event. Be sure to check out my last video because there's still some really good, really valuable information on Holy Wars coming up. And just to finish up this video, I'm going to be talking about a couple cards that have come out. I'm myself a Man Realm. There is a God version or a Demon version of this. I know that people have been requesting that I make a specific video just for gods or just for demons. And guys, as soon as Wiki's back up, I will try to do that for you, okay? Icarus, it's basically, let's see, great boost to man, attack, and defense. From what I've seen and what I remember, guys, and don't quote me on this, and don't go out and buy one of these just because I'm saying this, but what I've seen is it's 19,000 attack and about 16,000 defense. So if you're looking at getting a Holy Lancer, I think that this is a better alternative. Unfortunately, it is an SSR rather than an SR, so the skill effects is going to be harder to get up. But for what Holy Lancer is going for, much, much better alternative. And I think that these were going for about 80 per. So you can pick them up fairly cheap for being an SR. The other one is, guys, excuse me, give me 1 second to look this up. I apologize. But this is some important information, so I wanted to make sure that this gets out to you. It's taking a little while for my phone to load, guys. I'm sorry. I know I probably should have been better prepared, but just cope with me for 1 minute here, okay? Do-do-do-do-do. Phenomenal. Do-do-do-do-do. Phenomenal. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Phenomenal. This is where I wish I've had video editing software so that I could just cut this out. Well, guys, screw me. I can't get it to pull up. Well, anyways, there's another card that is just a high rare that's, I think, a good boost or a great boost. It's a step below, basically, Icarus to both man, attack, and defense. Unfortunately, I can't pull up Rage of Bahamut, but it's come out in the new card set, so I recommend that you get on there and check that out. That will give you basically a good alternative to Archer, Claymade, and so on and so forth. I talked to one of my friends, Alex, that's in our order. He's picking them up for 2 or 4 HP per, and he pulled 2 of them out of a Legend card pack. So I think it's a pretty good alternative to get in your deck, especially if the stats are decent, and even if they're a little bit better than Master Thief and Lupin, it'd be a great addition to any attack deck, especially since they're so cheap. And I'm actually thinking about putting one in mine. So, guys, I hope that information has really helped you out. If it has, and if you have an extra device laying around or a new player planning on joining, please use my referral code RUM26800. Gets you a free rare card and does the same for me, which would really help me out. If you have any questions or comments, please place them in the comment section below, and I'll do my best to answer that in a timely fashion. Or feel free to message me in-game, jbo785, and I'll do my best to answer that in a timely fashion. Thanks a lot, guys. This is jbo785, signing off.